My Childhood by APJ Abdul Kalam. This lesson is an extract from Wings of Fire, autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam talks about his childhood. So today we will study line by line explanation of the lesson My Childhood. I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in the erstwhile Madras state. Erstwhile means former. So in this first two lines, Mr. Kalam says that he was born into a middle class Tamil family and his place of birth was Rameshwaram, which is an island town, the state of Tamil Nadu. Yes, today we know the state as Tamil Nadu, but when Abdul Kalam was born, at that time, that state was known as Madras, Madras state. पहला दो लाइनें पढ़े कि अब्दुल कलाम he was born into a middle class Tamil family and at that time that place Tamil Nadu was called as Madras state. My father Bidhan had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. Innate means inborn, janmjat. Generosity of spirit, that means souls that is always ready to help needy people. So in this part, Kalam tells us about his father. His father's name was Bidhan. Abdul Kalam says that his father was not very rich and moreover he was also not very educated. ज़्यादा पढ़ा लिखा भी नहीं था. But despite all these shortcomings, father had all the qualities. The quality क्या था? He was very wise and generous. बहुत चतुर व्यक्ति था और बहुत उदार था. कौन? Abdul Kalam's father. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashiamma. So Abdul Kalam says that APJ's Abdul Kalam's mother name was Ashiamma and she was very helpful to his father. She was a great helpmate of her father. She was an ideal wife. She was a great support to his father in all the activities. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our family put together. So in this passage, we see that how Abdul Kalam's mother was hospitable. She was having hospitable nature. आदर सत्कार करने का भाव था उसमें. Abdul Kalam says that her mother was also very generous and kind-hearted woman. Every day she used to feed a lot of outsider, even those who did not belong to her family. उसको भी वो प्रेम से feed करती थी, भोजन पे आमंत्रित करती थी, भोजन सर्व करती थी. Abdul Kalam says that his mother fed a greater number of people from outside her family than the total number of families present in the house. So she was very much hospitable in nature and she believed in helping others as well as serving others. She believed in sharing and caring. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. Abdul Kalam says that he had many siblings, brothers and sisters, and he describes himself a very short height person. He had a common look. उसका जो look था, personality था, बहुत common था, ordinary था in compared to other brothers and sisters, his father and mother also. On the contrary, his parents were very tall and handsome, but Abdul Kalam possessed a very ordinary look. Yes. His parents were good looking and handsome. That means APJ Abdul Kalam did not inherit, विरासत में उसे प्राप्त नहीं हुआ, the physical quality of his parents. We lived in our ancestral house which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was fairly large pakka house made of limestone and brick on the mosque street in Rameshwaram. Pakka house means house made up of bricks, cement and limestone. Abdul Kalam in this part says that his ancestral house was very old. It was built in the 19th century. 19वीं शताब्दी में इसका घर बनाया गया था and it was a pakka house, that was ancestral house, पुश्तैनी घर, and it was made up of bricks and limestone. And his house was located on the mosque street, मस्जिद रोड में, रामेश्वरम के मस्जिद रोड, मॉस्क स्ट्रीट रोड में अवस्थित था. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicines or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. अब्दुल कलाम आगे क्या कहते हैं इस पैसेज में? Austere means simple but very strict and severe. Secure means safe. Materially means in terms of money. His father was a very simple man, but he was a strict disciplinarian. He wanted to live his life in simple way, and he used to teach children not to waste money on unnecessary things. Abdul Kalam's father always taught his children not to waste money on unnecessary things, on luxuries. अय्यासी वाला जीवन में धन को बर्बाद ना करें, ऐसा बचपन से शिक्षा मिला था. And he used to avoid inessential comforts and luxuries in his life. अपने जीवन में खुशी का सामान, कंफर्ट का सामान वो अपने जीवन में नहीं रखता था. Though he was very strict and he did not waste his money on unnecessary items, but Abdul Kalam says that his father used to spend a good amount wholeheartedly on necessary things like medicine, food, clothes. आगे कहते हैं अब्दुल कलाम that his parents fulfilled all his needs, whether it was any tangible things or their love and affection. So Abdul Kalam says that his father used to provide them all necessary things needed in their life, and he provided them lots of affection and love. He was very affectionate father. This shows that he has the quality of gratitude. APJ Abdul Kalam in the biography is thankful to his father, his parents, for whatever they did for him. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. Abdul Kalam in his autobiography, that is in this lesson, tells us that he was only 8 years old when the Second World War broke in the year 1939. So we can calculate that he was born in the year 1931. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to provide shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. So since his childhood, he used to work as he belonged to a middle class family. Tamarind seeds means imli ka beej. Princely sum means good amount. आना 6 पैसा का कॉइन को 1 आना कहते थे उस जमाने में. अब यहाँ सीखना है, जानना है. अब्दुल कलाम कहते हैं कि इन हिज इरा सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर ब्रोक, द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध शुरू हुआ और अचानक क्या हुआ? द डिमांड फॉर टैमरिन सीड्स इंक्रीज्ड इन द मार्केट. इमली का बीज का डिमांड बढ़ गया. कहाँ? मार्केट में. एपीजे यूज्ड टू कलेक्ट एंड सेल दोज टैमरिन सीड्स टू शॉप्स located on Mosque Street. So Abdul Kalam used to sell those tamarind seeds at shops which was situated in the mosque area, Mosque Street area. And he says that he would earn a mere handsome amount, that is 1 anna. 1 आना पैसा कमाता था डेली वो, that is equal to 6 पैसे. तो at that time in the era of Abdul Kalam, 1 anna, it was a handsome amount. अच्छा खासा अमाउंट था ये. 1 आना उस समय मूल्य रखता था. ब्रदर इन लॉ जलालुद्दीन would tell me stories about the war which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinmani. Dinmani is the name of Tamil newspaper. So World War was going on and his brother-in-law, whose name is Jalaluddin, he used to give him update about the World War. वर्ल्ड वॉर की जानकारी उसको मिलता था. आज कितना लोग मरा, कौन देश कब्जा हुआ, कितने सैनिक मारे गए, ये सब कहानी कौन बतलाता था उसको? जलालुद्दीन. Later, APJ Abdul Kalam used to read the newspaper Dinmani and used to look for the news of the same stories. Abdul Kalam himself also used to read about World War in the Tamil daily, that is Dinmani. Our area being isolated was completely unaffected by the war, but soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. Isolated means cut off. अब्दुल कलाम कहते हैं कि उस युद्ध के दौरान हमारा एरिया जो रामेश्वरम था कट ऑफ था, दूर दराज एरिया था, युद्ध से प्रभावित नहीं था। अलाइड फोर्सेस मैंने टर्म यूज किया। अलाइड फोर्स में कौन कौन था? यूके था, यूएसए था, रसिया था। So Rameshwaram was a small island town far away from land. So Rameshwaram was far away island town which was isolated and unaffected by the war. युद्ध से ज़्यादा प्रभावित नहीं हुआ था एरिया द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध में. But after some time, India had to join the war and combined with the Allied forces. But after some time, India was forced to join, forced to support अलाइड फोर्सेस. कौन फोर्स किया होगा? ब्रिटिशर्स, क्योंकि ब्रिटिश के अंदर हम लोग थे, उसमें गुलाम थे. हमारे देश के सैनिक को भी लगाया गया उस युद्ध में. देन अ स्टेट ऑफ इमरजेंसी वाज डिक्लेयर्ड. आपातकाल घोषित कर दिया गया इन द कंट्री. कर्फ्यू का सिचुएशन होता है कंट्री में, कर्फ्यू की तरह वो घर से बाहर नहीं निकल सकते हैं. बहुत से सुख सुविधा जो लोगों को दिया जाता है इमरजेंसी में वो छीन लिया जाता है सरकार के द्वारा. स्ट्रिक्ट लॉज आर इम्प्लीमेंटेड. उस अवस्था में ये कैसे रहा? द फर्स्ट कैजुअलिटी केम इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सस्पेंशन ऑफ द ट्रेन हॉल्ट एट रामेश्वरम स्टेशन. तो पहला जो हानि हुआ इमरजेंसी से, जो ट्रेन रुकती थी रामेश्वरम में अब सस्पेंड हो गया, रामेश्वरम में नहीं रुकती थी. द न्यूज़पेपर नाउ हैड टू बी बंडल्ड एंड थ्रोन आउट फ्रॉम द मूविंग ट्रेन ऑन द रामेश्वरम रोड बिटवीन रामेश्वरम एंड धनुषकोडी. So the first impact of the World War II on the people of Rameshwaram was the cancellation of the train stoppage at Rameshwaram station. वहाँ ट्रेन रुकना बंद हो गई अब इमरजेंसी में. जो ट्रेन पहले आती थी रामेश्वरम स्टेशन पर रुकती थी, लेकिन इमरजेंसी में अब रुकना वहाँ बंद हो गया. अब सीधे ट्रेन रामेश्वरम बिना रुके धनुषकोडी तक पहुँच जाती थी, रास्ता में नहीं रुकती थी. उसका जो एरिया था रामेश्वरम. With this newspaper bundle which used to come for Rameshwaram was thrown out of the moving train as it reached Rameshwaram road. So now his brother, cousin used to throw the bundle at Rameshwaram station and there was Abdul Kalam to pick that bundle. For that he was paid also. That forced my cousin Samsuddin, who distributed newspaper in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally I filled the slot. Samsuddin helped me earn my first wages. Phrase है filled the slot. लिखिए filled the slot का meaning. Fill the place easily. मैं उस जगह पे सटीक बैठ गया. रामेश्वरम में काम करता था डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर. कौन? शमसुद्दीन. As the train stoppage was cancelled and the newspaper bundle was thrown out of the moving train, he needed someone to help him catch it. So now Samsuddin was forced to throw the bundle where? At Rameshwaram station. As in emergency the train would not stop there. Emergency में ट्रेन वहाँ stop नहीं करती थी, तो उसको फेंकना पड़ता था. For that purpose he needed a helping hand and that place was easily fit बाय अब्दुल कलाम. उस काम के लिए अब्दुल कलाम बिल्कुल सटीक बैठता था. उसको बहाल कर लिया उसका भाई कजन हेल्प करने के लिए. सो अब्दुल कलाम हेल्प्ड शमसुद्दीन बाय कैचिंग द बंडल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग द न्यूज़पेपर. इन रिटर्न शमसुद्दीन पेड हिम अ सैलरी विच वाज फर्स्ट अर्निंग ऑफ अब्दुल कलाम. इस काम के लिए अब्दुल कलाम को पैसा मिलता था. फर्स्ट वेजेस, पहला तनख्वाह वो कमाया उस बंडल को पकड़ने में, अपने शमसुद्दीन कजन को सपोर्ट करने में, इन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ न्यूज़पेपर. हाफ अ सेंचुरी लेटर आई कैन स्टिल फील द सर्ज ऑफ प्राइड इन अर्निंग माई ओन मनी फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. हाफ अ सेंचुरी लेटर मीन्स 50 ईयर्स के बाद. अब्दुल कलाम कहते हैं कि दिस इंसिडेंट हैपेंड 50 ईयर्स अगो. जब ये किताब लिख रहा था उस समय अब्दुल कलाम कहते हैं कि 50 साल अब हो गया इस घटना का. इवन नाउ When he wrote the book, he could feel satisfied and proud. आज भी वो गर्व महसूस करता है जब वो किताब लिख रहा है, because he earned his own money. वो अपना पैसा कमाया with his hard work. अपने hard work जो पैसा कमाया, first wages that was paid to him by his cousin Samsuddin, that made him feel proud. वो गौरवान्वित होता है, स्वाभिमान महसूस करता है कि मैंने अपना मेहनत का कमाई अपना कमाया. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in certain ways by figure of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father, from my mother. I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my 3 brothers and sisters. So, authority figures according to Abdul Kalam are his parents, his teachers. Abdul Kalam says that whenever a child is born, जब एक बच्चा जन्म लेता है, he has some qualities, उसके अंदर कुछ संस्कार आते हैं, which is acquired from their elders in the family, जो अपने परिवार के बड़ों से उसे विरासत में मिलती है संस्कार. और यह डिपेंड करता है सोशल स्टेटस ऑफ द फैमिली एंड द एनवायरनमेंट एट होम. कैसा संस्कार प्राप्त होगा बच्चों को अपने एल्डर से, ये डिपेंड करता है घर के एनवायरनमेंट पर. इसी संदर्भ में वो कहते हैं फ्रॉम हिज फादर ही लर्न, क्या सीखा वो? ऑनेस्टी एंड सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन. अपने पिता से विरासत में उसे प्राप्त हुआ सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन एंड ऑनेस्टी, ईमानदारी का गुण. एंड फ्रॉम हिज मदर ही लर्न गुडनेस, अच्छाइयाँ, दूसरों की अच्छाइयाँ करना, एंड डीप काइंडनेस, और दयालुता का भाव. अब्दुल कलाम आल्सो सेज दैट हिज सिबलिंग्स, उसके भाई बहन भी ये क्वालिटी अपने पेरेंट्स से सीखे. आई हैड 3 क्लोज फ्रेंड्स इन माई चाइल्डहुड, रामानंद शास्त्री, अरविंदन एंड शिव प्रकाशन. ऑल दीज बॉयज वेर फ्रॉम ऑर्थोडॉक्स Hindu Brahmin families. APJ Abdul Kalam says that in his childhood he had 3 best friends and their names are Ramanatha Shastri, Arvindan and Shiva Prakashan. All of them, सभी ये लोग बिलोंग करते थे कट्टर ब्राह्मण फैमिली से, एंड दे वेर आर्डेंट फॉलोअर्स ऑफ देयर रिलीजियन. लेकिन उनके सभी मित्र उससे भाईचारा का भाव रखते थे ब्राह्मण होते हुए. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Prakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. Later, he took over the priesthood of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. Arvindan went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Shiva Prakashan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. So इस पार्ट में अपने मित्रों के बारे में अब्दुल कलाम कहते हैं, he says that during his childhood all the children were so close to each other. अपनी बाल अवस्था में वो सभी मित्रों से बहुत क्लोज थे. कौन? अब्दुल कलाम. That they never felt they belong to different religions. कभी ये फीलिंग नहीं आया कि वो डिफरेंट धर्म के बिलोंग करते थे. अपने दोस्त के बारे में क्या कहते हैं? रिलीजियन का बैरियर कभी नहीं आया उसके फ्रेंडशिप में. देयर इज अ वेरी फेमस टेम्पल इन रामेश्वरम टेम्पल. APJ's बेस्ट फ्रेंड रामानंद शास्त्री वाज अ सन ऑफ पाक्षी लक्ष्मण शास्त्री. वो APJ अब्दुल कलाम का जो बेस्ट फ्रेंड था उसका नाम क्या था? रामानंद शास्त्री. वो किसका बेटा था? पाक्षी लक्ष्मण शास्त्री का. द प्रीस्ट ऑफ दिस टेम्पल, वो रामेश्वरम टेम्पल के प्रीस्ट थे उसके पापा. When these 3 friends grew up, जब ये तीनों मित्र उसके बड़े हुए, कौन कौन से काम में संलग्न हुए उसके बारे में इस पैराग्राफ में लेखक कह रहा है. रामानंद शास्त्री took the priesthood of the रामेश्वरम टेम्पल. उसका जो फ्रेंड था, ब्राह्मण फ्रेंड रामानंद शास्त्री, बड़ा होकर अपने पिता का जगह ले लिया. वो एक प्रीस्ट बन गया. कहाँ? रामेश्वरम टेम्पल में. Arvindam started a business of transporting the pilgrims to and fro from Rameshwaram temple. और उसका जो दूसरा मित्र था उसका नाम क्या था? शिव प्रकाशन. वो जो है ट्रांसपोर्टिंग का बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर दिया. वो टू एंड फ्रो, यहाँ से वहाँ, रामेश्वरम से टेम्पल से श्रद्धालुओं को ढोता था. वो शिव प्रकाशन जो है वो कैटरिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बन गया. सदर्न रेलवे में वॉज इन चार्ज ऑफ द कैटरिंग फॉर द रेलवेज। शिव प्रकाशन जो है वो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बन गया, कैटरिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्टर इन सदर्न रेलवे।